So a year ago today, me and my girlfriend summited the tallest mountain in Africa, Mount Kilimanjaro. And I'm making this video because it was honestly one of the greatest things I've done in my entire life. And I'm presuming that you may have heard of Mount Kilimanjaro before, but you may not realize how accessible it is. And that's the main purpose of this video, that anyone can really do it. It's really attainable for any kind of age, any demographic, skill, ability. You don't necessarily need to be the most experienced climber or the fittest person in the world or any of the sort. So I'll be going through the days leading up, the 7 days climbing, and just a few tips that may make your climb that little bit easier. Honestly, it's absolutely breathtaking and you don't want to miss any of it because of sickness or anything that you can avoid. So before I start, I'd just like to say that we took the Machame Route, which is typically known as a bit of a steeper route, but it's so beautiful and I recommend that route particularly. And we went with Mafie Adventures, who again, I could not recommend any higher. Exceptional, through to the guide, the porters, the chef, cooking amazing meals. Shout out and Benny, our guide, you're a legend. We love you, bro. I'll leave all the details for Mafie in the description, so please do book with them. They are just unbelievable. Yeah, anyways, let's get on with it. So day 0, in a sense, you get picked up from the airport, Kilimanjaro airport, by your guides, and they will take you straight to your accommodation. You drive through Moshi is the town that you stay in, and it's no different to any other country in Africa, to be honest with you. If you've ever been to Africa, it's not really much of a culture shock. There you will kind of unwind a little bit, you'll have some dinner, meet your guide, and they will kind of just talk you through the general practice of what we'll be going through for the next 6 days, anything to keep in mind. This will also be an opportunity to double check all of your gear because it's essential that you pack everything that you need. I'll leave a video of everything that we packed. Now that may look excessive, but it's really not. All of it becomes so essential while you're on the mountain. And like I said before, there's just a few things that you can do to really improve your experience, and just packing correctly is one of those things. But once you've gone through everything, it's time to hit the hay and you have a very early start the next morning. Okay, so day 1. The excitement is running through your body, and you arrive at the bottom of the mountain where you will properly meet your full team, and you start walking through basically the jungle, surrounded by these black and white monkeys everywhere, and it's just so captivating. Probably the easiest day, just because the lowest altitude, and that's one thing that I really want to preface. While on Kilimanjaro, as you know, it's not considered a technical hike. The main issues come with the altitude. As the mountain is just under 6,000 meters, you start to feel altitude around the 4,000 meter mark, but I'll be honest, I felt it before then. From day 1, I was feeling extremely lightheaded, but as soon as I'd had some water, lay down a little bit, my headache kind of went away. That's another thing. Drinking water becomes so crucial. I recommend around 6 liters a day, which honestly sounds like a lot, but it really isn't when you're in those circumstances. And truly, that is the best way to naturally help with any kind of altitude sickness. Hey guys, this is our first morning on Kilimanjaro.
We slept, oh my god, our pillows, horrendous.
Oh, thank you. So day 2 is Machame Camp to Shira Camp. You will notice a drastic change in landscape. It goes from a jungle landscape to a more rocky kind of terrain. Oftentimes you might hear your guide say, well, you will hear your guide say, pole pole, which means slowly, slowly. And it's just kind of reaffirming that you need to just take it slow, take your water breaks, and really just take everything in. At the end of the day, you're not trying to break any records. You're there to experience the mountain, what it has to offer. So there's no shame in taking it as slow as you need. I'll be honest, it may feel a little bit stupid how slow you're walking at the beginning, but to be honest, the mountain forces everyone to walk slowly eventually. So you may as well from the start. Jumbo. Now for day 3, you will go from the Sharia camp to the lava tower and then back down to the Barranco camp. I'd say this is when we really felt the mental challenges of the mountains and kind of what it has to offer. Drastic acclimatization is why we have to then sleep at a lower altitude. I believe you go up 1,000 meters from already a pre-existing 3,500 and then sleep down at 4,000 meters. They say around 4,000 meters is where you start to feel real altitude sickness. So for this reason is why you do this. In terms of the kind of altitude sickness that you may be experiencing, it will be anything from nausea to sickness, lightheadedness, the inability to sleep. I personally was not able to digest any food, especially in mornings. I found it very sickening, just kind of regurgitating everything. And so this is where one of my first top tips come into play. Pack one of your favorite snacks. Now for me, it was a 1 kg tub of Nutella that I would just scoff down whenever I had the appetite to do so. The reason for this is because you will lose your appetite while you're on the mountain, and by having essentially a comfort food packed with you makes your life so much easier, because you can kind of just get a quick hit of sugar, to be honest, and that's just going to kind of get you through the next hour or so until your next meal. But yeah, back onto day 3. This is kind of like the first day where you kind of question your ability to reach the summit, because you're like, if I'm struggling at 4,000 meters, how on earth am I going to handle 6,000 meters? Essentially, the reason why your body will be able to acclimatize to 6,000 meters is because it's gradually acclimatizing. You're not shooting straight up to 4,000 and sleeping at 4,000. You're sleeping at that lower altitude, and truly it makes a world of a difference. These guys really know what they're doing, and there's a reason why they go for this 6-day route in this particular manner. Like I said, if you ever have those doubts kind of settling in, just remember there's a reason why you're doing it in this way, and you'll be fine.
Day 3 of summiting.
Kilimanjaro.
It was a good day. We went from 3,700 to 4,700. The altitude sickness. I nearly tapped out.
Yeah, it was rough.
I can't do this anymore. Like it was bad, but it's just for acclimatization. We are sleeping at 3,900. So it was just to get used to it. And now we're having a lovely ginger and honey tea. We have the best guides and waiter and porters and chef and everything in the world. We would have tapped out so long ago. They're so good at motivating,
keeping everyone in check,
amazing.
Yeah, stars of the show. Okay, now on to day 4, Barranco Wall to the Karanga camp. Now you may have seen videos or photos of the Barranco Wall, and it does look pretty daunting. I know before I had done Kilimanjaro, I was particularly a bit nervous about this one, because you see that it's a rock face that you're kind of scaling with your body on the side, and it's kind of looks like a cliff edge, but honestly it's not as bad as it looks. And for me and Danny, this was probably one of our favorite parts of the whole climb, because it really just feel like mountain climbing. So once you do it and you realize that you are completely capable of doing that, it is quite a confidence boost, and it does offer some pretty cool shots of you doing it. So yeah, your Instagram feed will thank you for doing the Barranco Wall. Thank you, Barranco Wall. So it's currently day 4 of summiting Mount Kilimanjaro. Altitude sickness is clearly getting to me with my fucking stuttering words. Yesterday, headache all the way through the night. Was able to eat. Danny wasn't able to eat whatsoever. But yeah, you just keep telling yourself it's in your mind, and you kind of knuckle through it. It is so fucking cold. The floor has completely turned to ice. It's probably yesterday night. I reckon it was about -5, which is kind of like fucking peanuts compared to what it will get to like when it's -25 all the way up there, and that's not even the peak. So that's what you can see is the peak of Kibu, Mount Kibu, and then you need to go all the way around that way, and then you find Peak Uru, which is 15 kilometers from here, Camp 3. So right now we're at about 4,000 meters elevation, just under 4,000 meters. But yeah, stay tuned.
Yep.
Amazing, very good. One at a time.
Yep. Good luck.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so day 5, Karanga camp to Barafu camp. Now, this is where everyone starts to realize that it's getting serious. This is one of the easier, lighter walking days, but you can kind of slightly feel the energy drop just because everyone's a little bit nervous ahead of the summit the day after. Obviously, Barafu camp being base camp. But honestly, I'd say this was one of my favorite evenings, purely because the views from the base camp are just utterly exceptional. So every night our guide would come into our tent just before we go to sleep to kind of talk us through what will be ahead for the next day. And honestly, it was such a nice like kind of segment of the whole experience because it really connects you to the people that you are doing this mountain with. You know, at the end of the day, these are lifelong memories that you're making with these people, and honestly, lifelong friends. So December this year, actually, me and Danny have been invited to Mbeni, our guide's wedding, which I honestly could have cried up when he said it, because it's just like, for me, I felt like I built such a strong connection with him while on the mountain, and kind of like knowing that that is also reciprocated, and having that memory attached to someone who I've also been able to kind of form a close bond with, just is really special to me. Back onto the mountain. So yeah, the night before, your guide will come into your room and you'll basically talk through what it is all about, you know, the summit night. You'll arrange a time to wake up, kind of depending on how you feel, but it will probably be around an 11:30 p.m. wake up for you to kind of get ready, and you set off around 1 in the morning to then start making your summit push. Honestly, you're probably not going to get any sleep. It's freaking cold, and you're obviously super tense and excited, so yeah, don't expect to get a heck of a load of sleep, but yeah, I mean, it's just excitement, you know. So what day is
5.
it? Day 5. Bruv, I'm like
Just record that.
wrenching my guts out.
Josh wrenching makes me feel sick because I'm nauseous as well. So it's like this back and forth of a human.
But today we're gonna go to the base camp, which is one before the summit night.
We're summiting tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna summit it tonight.
So in like 12 hours we're summiting.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, midnight we leave and we start walking at 11 p.m. we start walking, and we'll probably get there at like 6 in the morning.
No, I think a little bit before.
Maybe earlier, fuck knows. Well, I hope not, because the sun won't be up. Anyways, we'll see.
Josh, I couldn't care less about the sun being up right now.
So it's currently 6 p.m. and this is the current view at base camp of Kilimanjaro. You're literally on top of the world. I'm breathing so heavily because the oxygen is so thin up here. It's probably at around maybe 60 to 55% at the moment, but wow.
That's better, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's currently 10 to 11.
10 minutes until we summit.
So tired, so cold.
So nauseous.
Yeah. Like,
We
just had porridge. With some sugar and some just boiling water on its own. So ill as well.
It's not easy, man.
Nah.
It's not easy. The porridge has literally frozen.
Yeah.
Literally.
But yeah. See you at the top, mate. Okay, and the moment we've all been waiting for, summit night. So this bit here is where everything you could physically prepare for is just kind of thrown out the window and becomes an entirely mental battle. And the reason for this is purely because it is so cold, and it's so dark, and it does feel never ending. You just need to kind of have a sort of mantra in your head. If you're religious, probably pray, because it's kind of very rhythmic. But yeah, you just kind of need to get into your own head that you're going to make it, and that this experience is all worth it. But my God, is it cold. Now, when we done our summit push, I believe it was minus 15 degrees. And I've never personally felt cold like that before. So that was something, obviously, it's not the place to experience something for the first time, but it was, and it probably will be for most of you. So that's just something to think ahead. So in terms of packing, you're going to have such a varied packing list, as you can see from the list. You go from hot weather to freezing Arctic conditions. So yeah, you kind of really want to be ready for everything. Now, just before you reach Uhuru Peak, you'll get to Stella Point, and this for me is really where the emotions start to set in. You probably cry. I cried, big deal. But yeah, and if you're lucky as us, as you are walking towards the peak, the sun starts to rise, and yeah, I'll insert some clips, but it is just like so overwhelmingly amazing. You know, this is what a whole week's of effort and probably a whole year's of sacrifice has led up to, and so just really take it all in and just embrace it all. Now you will hopefully have reached the summit and will start making your descent down. You will have around 15 minutes at the summit point. You won't be that long because you don't want to spend that high up and that high of an altitude, so you'll probably spend around 15 minutes up at the summit. But honestly, that's way more than enough time. You take it all in, you know, take your photos, of course, and yeah, start heading down. So this is kind of where the fun stops a little bit, because as you're going down, it's an extremely steep descent, of course. You don't go back the way you came up, so that's something to keep in mind, especially from the summit. It's very gravelly, so once again, poly, just take your time, very slow. You'll have a chance to have something to eat back at base camp, get a little bit of rest, and then it's 2 days down to the beginning. One day you descend, I think it's something crazy like 4,000 meters down, and then the second is the last 1,500 odd meters down, and there you are. Now, for me, Kilimanjaro really just stripped life back to its basics. Kind of eat, sleep, walk, breathe, repeat, and it's so grounding. You know, you have no connection to your phone. Like our parents always say, it's those damn phones, and it really is those damn phones. And those 7 days to just really take everything all in, make new connections, reinforce the connections that you already have, and kind of discover things about yourself that you didn't necessarily know beforehand, are things that you are going to take with you for the rest of your life. And honestly, you can't put a price on that. I would like to preface that tipping is strongly advised. We tipped £400 each, which I think, realistically, looking back at it, if I could have tipped £1,000 each, I would have done that, because honestly, it's worth every penny. Those guys really make an effort to make that the best experience that you could possibly have, and it truly is that, for not only the company that you're given, the general service, the friends that you make, and my God, for being thousands of meters up in the sky, is that food unbelievable. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video has been informative, and if you are planning to do or doing Kilimanjaro, please drop in the comments anything that I may have missed, anything that worked for you. I'd like to do more videos on Kilimanjaro, so if this one isn't a total flop, hopefully you'll be seeing more of me. Just in the comments, maybe leave what kind of videos that you'd like to see based on Kilimanjaro. I'm thinking of doing a what we packed video, maybe a cost breakdown would be quite cool. And we also done an amazing safari with Mafie Adventures again. So if you want to see a video on that, please let me know. Anyways, thank you. Machapati.